Howdy, I am. Let's do it.
All right. First question will be from Gabe Bach at texags.com.
Yeah, Seth, 78.3% last year. Only missed 5 kicks, and I think only one inside of 40, 15 to 16 last year. How important is that to you to be nearly automatic from that range? And then what have you tried to do to become more consistent outside of 40?
It's essential for me to make my kicks. I mean, that's not just something that I take lightly. Any missed kick, it doesn't matter where it is, inside of 40, outside of 40, it doesn't matter to me. I need to make it. Bottom line is I try to get my follow through more downfield as opposed to coming across to help with the technical issues, and then also working with my holder and my snapper, Connor Choate and Colton Taylor, working in Nick, the new punter, because Braden's gone, so we had to find a new holder. Just working with them to make sure that the operation is set up smoothly.
All right, next question will be from Mike Lucas at KAGS, and then we'll go to John Wilson.
How you doing, Seth?
Howdy, how's it going?
Good. You mentioned something I want to just touch on real quick, and then I have a different question. But how much does a holder make a difference, and how easy is it to adapt to a new holder?
A holder makes a huge difference. Very fortunate with Braden, didn't have to worry anything there. And it builds trust in the operation, and I'm confident in Colton and Nick, and no matter what the seasons looks like, no matter who we go with, whoever's ready, I'm confident in both of them.
And then building off that, where's your range? How confident do you feel from 50 plus now? Where do you feel confident kicking from?
I feel confident from about 57 to 59, anywhere inside 60 I feel good from, with no wind.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll move on to John Wilson from KVTX, and then we'll go Travis Brown.
Hi, Seth.
Howdy.
I was just curious, from a player's perspective, what do you think of the 10-game SEC schedule and not having any non-conference games this year?
I'm kind of excited for it. I mean, this is why you come to the SEC, is to play SEC teams. It's like the minor league for the NFL, if you will. There's so much talent here, and we're excited to go out and compete because we think that we're a top team in the nation, and we want to go out and prove that every week. We just get more opportunities to do that against even more teams this year.
All right, let's go to Travis Brown from the Bryan College Station Eagle, and then back to Gabe Bach.
Hey, Seth, how are you?
How you doing?
So sorry to shift a little bit off you and your position group, but curious of what your thoughts are on how Kellen has developed into even more of a leader over this offseason, what his voice has kind of been like as y'all have kind of gotten practice started underway.
Oh, my goodness. Kellen has earned so much respect from this team, from myself. Everyone looks to him as the leader. Coach Fisher trusts him, and we know that he's the leader on the team, so we follow him, and we trust him to lead us wherever he wants to take us.
Thanks.
All right, back to Gabe Bach, and then we'll go to Shion.
Kind of have a two-parter here, Seth. Number one, quickly, who's going to handle kickoff duties? Is it going to be you or Caden Davis? And then going back to that Arkansas game last year, they make a chip shot field goal and beat you without your 50-yarder. So it was essentially a game winner in the last few minutes. What did that moment last year in Jerry World do for your confidence?
So to answer your first question, it was about who's going to do the kickoff duty. Right now, that's a three-way competition between myself, Caden, and Drew, and we'll see who wins it. Excited to go out there and compete with those boys, and whoever earns it, earns it. The kick last year against Arkansas, that was a fun one. I haven't had any last-second game winners yet. Obviously, that's what I live for, but that was about the closest thing that you could get to that and the bowl game. That was a big confidence, not for myself, but I feel like for the team and for the operation between me and Connor and Braden. It's just you go out there, you make plays, and it builds confidence.
All right, so we'll move on to Shihan from Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and then the Kirk Bowles.
Hey, Seth. I know that you might have seen some of the reports coming out that the NCAA is considering giving basically this year off from eligibility and not exhausting this year. Do you think that that's the right decision? And from your perspective, I mean, how does that kind of affect things for you potentially?
I don't know what the right decision is. The people that are in the office for the NCAA making those decisions, they try to take in as much information as they can before they make those decisions. And they have a lot more information than myself. So I trust them, whatever decision that they make. How that affects me as a player, I just want to play football. So hopefully we get to this season and I'll be ready to, and this team will be ready to.
All right, let's move on to Kirk Bowles from the Austin American-Statesman, and then on to Matt Roberts.
Seth, you said you think y'all are a top 10 team in the nation. Do you think other people are sleeping on the Aggies, and do you consider yourselves a favorite to win the league?
I didn't say that we were top 10. I said we were one of the top teams in the nation. So I'm excited to go out and compete and improve that every single week, no matter who that we play. It doesn't matter if it's in conference or out of conference. We're just lucky enough that it's in conference this year.
And what do you like best about this team?
I love the attitude and the energy that we're bringing. I feel like we had a lot of pin-up energy, especially not having a spring ball. I love the attitude that this defense has brought the first couple days to practice, led by Michael Clements, and then, of course, Jamon and Kellen leading the offense. I'm excited.
All right, we're going to move on to Matt Roberts from Fox 44 in Waco, and then on to Brent Zorneman. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Seth, I guess you kind of talked about it right there, but is there any extra sense of urgency this year, knowing that you have Vandy and then Alabama, Florida, they just keep coming like that? Is there extra sense of urgency this fall?
There's always a sense of urgency. It doesn't matter who we play. Like I said, we're lucky that it's all SEC this year, but sense of urgency is always there, especially since we didn't get spring ball this year. We've kind of had to move a little bit faster over the past couple of weeks with walkthroughs, and now we finally started fall camp. So I'm just happy it's here.
All right, question from Brent Zorneman at the Houston Chronicle.
Hey, Seth, you mentioned Nick earlier. We don't know anything about him. Obviously, he has big cleats to fill. And, tell us a little bit about his personality as well. Any Australian I've ever known has been a kind of a fun guy. What kind of guy is he?
Oh, he's absolutely hilarious, 100% pure Australian. We've tried to brainwash him a little bit into American. He's working on his American accent. We actually took him to eat a couple times last year at Willie's. It's a burger place, and every time he would go up, he would try out his American accent and go, "Hello, could I please get a burger and fries?" And he would just try to overemphasize the American. It's awesome. Love Nick. He's a great punter. He's very natural when he punts the ball. I mean, in Australia, they grew up kicking the ball as we do in America, throwing the ball. So it's very natural to him. I'm excited to see what he does this year. And he's got big shoes to fill, but he's got a big foot. So I'm glad he's part of the group.
You bet.
All right, we'll move on to Justin Woodard from KAGS, and then Chip Howard.
Seth, were you surprised that your name didn't pop up on the Luke Rose Award preseason watch list?
I don't really care about the preseason as long as it shows up on the postseason. When we win the national championship, hopefully, that's all I'm worried about.
Would you like to be considered one of the best place kickers in the nation?
I would like to. I think that I am, but I have to go out and prove that, and I just have to continue to improve every year.
All right, we have Chip Howard, and no one else seems to have a question, so it may be the ender.
Seth, you've obviously kicked in Kyle Field when it's empty with only maybe 25,000 fans this year. How different do you think that might be kicking in the stadium? And does it change when the stadium's full or when it's empty? Do the wind currents change at all? Does that make a difference?
That's getting really technical. I haven't really thought about how it affects the wind. I don't think it does. At the end of the day, it's the same 100 yards and it's the same upright. So I'm just going to try and go out there and do my job. It's going to be a little weird not having it full, whatever capacity that it's at. Hopefully there are fans because that makes college football so special is the game day atmosphere. But just excited for the opportunity to go out and play some football.
All right. Well, that's all the questions for you, Seth.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yes, sir.